Morning, everybody. Got up early, busted out the French press, make some coffee, a little breakfast, and I was reminded of this old Garfield comic strip from when I was little. I remember reading where he goes to pour the cup of coffee, and it just kind of pours out like syrup, real thick, and obviously looks out and just says it's going to be a good cup of coffee. I was kind of reminded of that today. Made me chuckle. Got things off on the right foot. So that kind of set the tone and mood of the day. So on the way to work today, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about goals. I've been meaning to make this for a while, and I've actually started it quite a few times, but something always comes up where I haven't got a chance to finish it, or just didn't quite turn out the way I wanted. And that's the part about not doing this live, is I can take a little bit of time to revise, so to say. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can approach goal setting. You just got to have your objective of how far out you're planning. What is your goal, and how is it best? How would it be best suited to be met? Do you need to approach it from a short-term goal aspect, long-term? Do you need to build into it? How are you going to go? It ranges anything from fitness to finances to any kind of goal that you can have. An educational goal really kind of covers a lot of ground, and you can apply the same kind of thought process to each of them. Like, I've learned that setting small practical goals really gets momentum going for reaching big goals. Achieving the long-term goals, especially if you set things in play like a stepping stone. You've got one thing that you want to achieve, and then you just move on to the next and on to the next, and you just continue as you go. That way you build momentum, and you're also accomplishing things in the process. I think it does a lot for us to be able to set out to do something and accomplish it, whether it be a small feat or something really big. We don't always give ourselves enough credit for the things we accomplish. So it's kind of important to take time to realize what we're doing and how we're going to get where we need to be. I know in a lot of our situations, we're going to have some pretty amazing goals. There's nothing wrong with having outlandish goals or having some, large-scale idea of something you would love to have happen in your lifetime. Just taking a practical approach to it it's not a bad idea. So, here's in terms of, some goals that me and Amy have set for ourselves. We've got some weight loss goals going on, and it's more of, just because of the timing, it's what we're planning on doing. I'm aiming more for fat loss, body change, as opposed to just the weight loss, but the numbers are going to help me keep track. If you go off of a doctor's setting, the last time I was at the doctor, they said technically I would classify as overweight, being a little over 6 foot and 210 pounds. That's part of being bigger than the average person. Any kind of mass is going to put you in that range, and that's okay. You know what healthy is, and a doctor is going to tell you whether or not you're unhealthy. So for me, getting down to a specific weight is more of a target for a specific body composition. And kind of utilize some time, because we planning on a trip to Florida at the end of the year for Christmas, so that was kind of where we were at. It just gave us something to work towards. And then you can kind of range it on anything. I have specific financial goals that I have for myself. So breaking them down into how is this going to be achievable? What is more likely to happen? Which one of these specific items or specific goals or purchases or savings plans is going to be not only the most you know, the easiest to achieve, but at the same time, which one is going to have the most benefit of doing. And once you break that down, you can kind of break it down into a weekly or monthly or however you plan on tackling it. The main thing with goal setting is just be practical and make sure you're setting something, because it's really easy to become stagnant if you don't have anything specific you're working towards. It doesn't have to be about fitness. It doesn't have to be about finances. It doesn't really have to be about anything specific. The point is to having something that you're working towards, or some kind of, guidelines, is going to help you, I think, overall be happier, because you're not just going to be existing. Some people are content with that, but most people, they're always yearning for something more. They're always on that grass is greener aspect. So it's never a bad idea just to take a few minutes to find some things that may be important for yourself or your family or whatever, and find some ways that you can kind of just start little habits. There's going to be days to where even when you're trying to reach a specific goal, you're just tired. You don't want to deal with it. Get up and go. Do it. That way, if you do have one of those days to where something comes up or you just can't, then you're not out. You're not behind. You're not, regretting or wishing something was different. You've made all those steps. You've done what you had to do. And it's just that simple some days. Just get up and do it. Just follow the plan. Stick with the plan. If you've made a solid plan, it's going to work, as long as it's practical. So, well, that is about it for covering this. Goals range so widely, and it's such a personal thing that, there's no way to specifically break it down unless you're speaking on an individual thing. And that would be more of a Q&A thing. So this is just kind of like an overview. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch these. I've enjoyed the feedback. I've enjoyed the fact that people are actually watching them. It's kind of fun for me. So I really enjoy doing it. If there's anything that you have to add or you want to talk about, feel free to share. And you guys have a great weekend.